I'm reading two portions from the book. The first, since we are speaking of arrivals, is an edited extract towards the start, and a very different kind of arrival than the one Gaiutra may read from. The house was a peculiar creation, neither one thing nor the other, in half measures concrete and wood, of an old style and new. One could discern the reputed Guyanese elegance in the slenderness of the banisters, the decayed fretwork under the roof, and it had been built in the Guyanese way, upon high stilts. You could tell at one time, before the bottom was walled up, before the back extended and part of the yard shedded, you could tell it had been a house of proportion. But now the thin man inside the fat man was forever obscured. By these disfigurations, Action Jackson, the gold-wearing, gum-chewing husband of my landlady, could juice rent from 6 tenements. It was an act of ambition that drew both respect and resentment. You see how the gold round his neck get poundish? I know the man when he was just a limer. The house was hidden behind Lachman's hardware. We there in hard time and soft. You enter through a long passageway made by the shop in a wall of rusted tin. That corridor tapered into a makeshift entrance where Rabindranath Lachman and Action Jackson had been waging a cold war over a small patch of land, leading to sudden and always temporary captures of territory with barrels or scraps of tin. Beyond these battles was the staircase. I was one of the 2 flats on the upper story. There were 3 below, another in the yard, holding a total of anywhere between 8 and 14 tenants. These included Hassa, the dead-eyed minibus driver, a pair of busty Indian-Chinese cashiers who people called Bai Chow Mein, Kwesi, the youth man who did electrical odd jobs and often came upstairs to make pining phone calls that contained the words, "I have true feeling for you, baby, I ain't lie." His mother, a hard-working churchwoman who worried for Kwesi and passed around magnificent trails of black pudding on Sundays, and a secret couple whose secret fights had everybody's attention in quiet times. The first floor as you entered the gate was enlivened by the graffiti, "Let them talk, don't bother me." But in fact, it was its occupant, Lancelot Banarsi, who people called a top man or a gaff man. "In Japan," Uncle Lance said to me on the first day, "nobody could imitate like Guyanese, you know." For a moment I suspected he was making a stinging criticism. That's why Guyanese could succeed anywhere. We go New York, Canada, Florida. We could become just like them, but they can't become just like we. I know you must hear all kind of thing about her, but we's good people, eh? Good people. I'll tell you the problem. Too much politics. Politics, you hear? So, Uncle Lance was a reader and could often be found perusing obscure pamphlets on the bench. He was a newspaper junkie, as I too was becoming. In the afternoons, a cross-section of kitty folk would assemble on the stairs of the house around the newspaper-wielding Uncle Lance, whose undertaking it was, in the words of one participant, to instigate and agitate the population. He ran the sessions democratically, throwing up an item in the air and letting whoever wanted run with it. Caribbean Men in HIV Nightmare. Was Mr. C a Bajan who loved both soca music and a white woman in England? Was Mr. B a Jamaican with reggae music running through his entertainment veins, but whose complaint started a police investigation and ended up blowing the whistle on what the authorities are calling a terrible crime? Finally, did Emma Baxter, a white English receptionist in London, set out to have unprotected sex with a host of black men who traced their roots to Barbados, Guyana, St. Vincent, Antigua, Dominica, to name a few island nations, in order to infect them with HIV/AIDS, apparently in revenge? The point of instigate and agitate here was not the conduct of Miss Baxter, though one man did present the Guyanese truism, "Pussy make man's can't buy." No, the issue was that Guyana was referred to as an island. The report had been reprinted from the Barbados nation. "The problem with island is they're from island," a man with hair buns remarked. "It's only I they understand, not you, not we. Trinidad came in for licks too. It's sheer isle they got by, too much isle in their brains." And so to the next item. Afro-Dulaha and Dulahim. Dear editor, I wonder how many of your readers have taken note of that rice advertisement on television in which an obviously Afro person is featured as the Dulahim and an equally Afro individual acts as the Dulaha. Of course, I did read an article recently which tells about an Afro gentleman of the incumbent regime who, some time back, saw fit to convert to Hinduism, but that's his affair, and such cases must be rather rare here in Guyana. These are clearly not Afro roles, however, and the landscape teems surely with actors and actresses eminently skilled and appropriate to the parts. What is also notable is that no attempt is made to disguise the ethnicity of either that purported Dulwaha or the Dulahi. So I ask once more, what is afoot here? Or will I be dubbed a racist for even noticing this not very amusing attempt at comedy? Yours faithfully. Proper talk, by that proper talk. Don't make sugar better. You don't have that man go make racial out of anything. Besides, it's not black man who getting insult, it's Hindu. Hold on. You ever wonder why it have black man with the rice? It's because till now Kuli don't accept it was the African who bring rice to Guyana. Those people had monetary bad. Black man think he can plant rice. Give you 1 square yard is ganja, you go find it. Hold on. Who bring the ganja here? Is them Kuli man Sadhu who bring it? All two are around. It's Chinese who bring it. Uncle Lance, take the stage now. Here now. Y'all hear about Rahul Bhattacharya? I have one Rahul Bhattacharya in Waknam, good. From when you're by, Rahul will wake up every morning before sunrise, good. Walk from house to house, fetch the milk, walk to the stelling, catch wood to Parika, catch bus to GT, sell the milk in GT. Walking up, see him back, not till nightfall. Robbie working on. Next thing, get a bicycle, good. Robbie prospering, going by more house, making more collections, selling more milk. Bam, next thing Robbie buy a vehicle. Bam, next thing get a man to work for you. Robbie doing real good. And then he decide for mind cow himself. Everyone walking down big up the eye. You ever hear a black man or full man minding cow? It's only Hindu who can mind cow. Bam, inside next 2 months they all let out. One cow catch disease, next one get mashed down by car. Next man die at childbirth, next man feel lonely and take leave for heavenly abode, and Robbie back to where he started. So, what I have to do with rice? And so it went, restless early days in Kitty, ripe with heat and rain and Guyanese sound and Guyanese light, in which the world seemed saturated or bleached, either way exposed.